So, in this video, we'll study a syntax-directed translation and its application. So, we know how to construct a syntax tree or a parse tree. And also, we studied during the parsing, okay, some compiler performs the translation also, okay, in parallel. So, that is called as SDD. Okay, so we have a rule and the corresponding action. So, now let us construction of syntax tree. We already studied what is annotated parse tree. Okay, now let us construct the abstract syntax tree. So what is the difference between annotated parse tree and the abstract syntax tree? We will study in the next slide. But look at this particular grammar. So this is S definition grammar. Okay, what is this grammar? Arithmetic, right? Arithmetic expression. But involves only two operator, that is plus and minus. Both have same priority as well as the left priority, left associative. So why it is called S attributed definition? Because we have non-terminal here, that is two non-terminal E and T, both have synthesized attribute. What is that? Node, right? Node is a synthesized attribute of E and T. Therefore, this is S attributed definition. So look at the first production. E derives E1 plus T. In order to avoid confusion, in the right hand side we used E1. Okay, actually it is E, but to avoid some confusion, so instead of E we used E1. So what is the production? E derives E1 plus T. This particular, what is the corresponding semantic action? What is the semantic rule here? It is nothing but this rule creates a node. Okay, it will create a node with plus for operator and two children, that is E1 node and T node. So what is E1 node and T node? It is nothing but the sub expression. Similarly, we have the second rule. Okay, same kind of rule, right? Instead of plus operator, now it is minus in the second one. Look at the production 3, that is E derives T. Here we are not going to create any node, but instead E node is same as T node, means pointer is pointing to the same node. That is the meaning. Okay, we are not copying anything, so it is pointing to some memory location. That is E node is pointing to T node. Similarly, no node is created for the production 4, that is T derives bracketized expression. The value of T node is same as E node, because the parentheses are used only for grouping here. They influence the structure of parse tree and the syntax tree, but once their job is done, there is no further need to retain them in the syntax tree. Understood? So bracketized expression, actually always when we convert from infix to postfix means actually it is evaluation, right? So postfix is always parenthesis free expression. So here the bracket is not necessary, only in the syntax. Okay, we need only in the construction of syntax tree, but not for the implementation purpose. The last two production, that is T productions, have a single terminal on the right. So we used to construct this particular node using a constructor called leaf. Okay, we have a constructor, so that is leaf. It is nothing but the leaf node. Okay, leaf node with attributes are id entry or num dot value. I think this particular SDD is clear, right? So this is implementation part, more oriented towards implementation. Now let us construct a syntax tree for the same grammar. The input is a minus 4 plus c. So we know how to construct a parse tree. So it is starting with capital E plus t. And the leftmost E is replaced with E minus t. Then leftmost E is replaced with the T, then A, 4, C. This is what the syntax tree. So we have more number of nodes here, right? So this is called as annotated parse tree. So instead, I want to construct abstract parse tree. Look at this. So this is called as abstract parse tree. We don't have much nodes here, but the same tree here. Meaning is same. So A minus 4. Okay. Answer is plus with C. Now look at the syntax tree. What we are doing, it is bottom up parsing. Okay, it is a bottom up parsing. Initially, A is reduced to T. Okay, A is reduced to T. See, look at the syntax directed translation of this particular grammar. When A is reduced to T, what is the corresponding action? We have to construct a leaf node, right? Leaf node. I'll construct a leaf node. Okay, so A is assigned and the left child and the right child is initially filled with value null. Okay, so we have left entry, that is the pointer. Okay, it is used to store the address, but this is a leaf node, hence it is null. You just assume it is a null and assume that this particular node address is 1000. You just imagine. So what is this node? The node address is 1000. And now the 1000 is assigned to where? 1000 is assigned to T. Understood. So that is what the meaning here. What is T node? T node is equal to new of leaf, right? So the address is assigned to T node. T node will contain the address of leaf node. Now, after that, the same thing is copied to E node, right? 1000 is assigned to E node. Understood. So that's why we don't want that particular node because everything is pointing to the same memory location. Even E also pointing to the same memory location. T also pointing to the same memory location. Therefore, this is enough, right? So now, what is the next step? 4. This is also leaf node. According to the grammar production, we have to create a new node, leaf node, and whose address is assigned to T, then T to E. Understood? T to E. So now we have something called the minus. Look at that minus, the left child contain the address of A, that is nothing but E node. Okay, A is a leaf node whose address is assigned to T node, then it is assigned to E node. Therefore the left child is E node. And look at that 4 is a leaf node whose address is assigned to T node. Therefore the right child is T here, T node. Look at the grammar specification. It is minus, right? Look at the second production. It is minus E1 node, comma T1 node. E1 node contain the address of left child. T node contain the address of right child. So this specification is enough. After that, after that we have C address. It is a leaf node whose address is assigned to T node. Now you create plus. So this plus contain the address of left child as well as the right child. Which is the left child? E node. Which is the right child? T node. So this is the production number 1. This is what the corresponding action. Okay, this is what the semantic rules. Understood. So we are going to use this abstract syntax tree. The same is converted here. Okay, the corresponding action will be taken place. So this is what the meaning of a particular grammar. So previous grammar. See, construction of syntax tree for A minus 4. So this is the meaning. Okay, the same thing, but look at that. So address assignment. So that is shown in the figure. T node ID. Okay, entry for A. So NPTR is pointing to ID. The same thing, same is converted. Okay. Now let us consider one more example, syntax tree for L attribute definition. The rules for building a syntax tree in this example are similar to the rules for the previous one. What is that? Desk calculator example. Okay. So here in this particular example, the non-terminal E dash has an inherited attribute INH and synthesized attribute SYN. Attribute E dash dot INH represent the partial syntax tree constructed so far. Specifically, it represents the root of the tree for the prefix of the input string, that is to the left subtree for E dash. Now let us consider the same example, that is A minus 4 plus C. Since there is no more input, look at that. So E dash dot inh denote the syntax tree for A minus 4. Actually, first what happens? A minus 4 will be calculated. The result is added with C. That is what the meaning here. Now consider this particular tree. So what is the initial start node here? E dot node. It is replaced with, in order to get this particular input, it is replaced with TE dash. Now T is assigned with value A. Okay. Now what is the right subtree? Right subtree is E dash and it has to perform minus, right? What is that minus? Minus TE dash. Minus TE dash. Whether we have, so now initially what it has to perform? A minus 4. Where is A actually? In the left subtree. Therefore it is inherited. Okay. A is inherited so that it is copied to E dash dot inh. Now what is E dash dot inh? It is something called A. Now it will perform A minus 4. So we'll get one result, right? So that result is again passed to E dash dot inh. Understood? So it has something called the result. What is that result? A minus 4. Now that is added with C. Understood? Now that is added with C. Once this result is over, okay, that is A minus 4 plus C. That result is again copied to the rightmost E dash dot inh. Clear? According to the grammar rule. After that, E dash dot inh is copied to down, that is E dash dot syn. Look at the last production rule, that is E dash derives epsilon. Look at the corresponding action, the same thing, right? E dash dot inh is copied to E dash dot synthesized. Now this value E dash dot synthesis is copied to E dash of synthesize of top, then that is copied to parent, that is E dash synthesis, because child is dependent on, sorry, child value is always passed to parent in synthesized attribute. Now finally E dash dot syn is copied to E dot node. Okay, to avoid confusion, let me show the arrow mark. First this is A, right? So this is passed to T node. Now this value is copied. Now after that 4 is copied to T node. Now this A, in order to perform A minus 4, E dash is inherited, right? That takes from left. Okay. Now it will perform A minus 4. So this A minus 4 is copied to this answer. That is A minus 4 answer is copied to E dash dot inherited. Clear? So this value, that is A minus 4, okay, plus C, and this answer is copied to this E dash dot inh, and this inh is copied to E dash synthesized, and this answer is copied to E dash of synthesized, and again this copied to E dash synthesized, means synthesized attribute. Finally it is copied to parent node. So you just see the production and corresponding action, the same thing. Okay. Now let us consider one more grammar, basic type or an array type. In C, the type int of 2 of 3. What is the meaning actually? Array of 2, array of 3 integer. The corresponding type expression, array of 2, comma, array of 3, comma, integer is represented. Right, it is represented. So I'll show you that in the next slide. So what exactly the meaning of this particular input. But look at the grammar. So this is SDD with non-terminal T generates either a basic type or an array type. Remember what is non-terminal T? T either generate basic type or an array type. You just imagine array name, array It is a name of class and the members are number and the basic data type. Okay, what is array? Array is nothing but the class name. Okay, and the members are num and basic data type, something like integer or float. Okay, so the non-terminal B generates one of the basic type int and float. T generate basic type when T derives BC. Look at the first production, T derives BC and C derives epsilon. Okay, when T generate basic data type, when T derives BC and C derives epsilon. Otherwise, C generates array component consisting of sequence of integer, each integer surrounded by brackets. So that is the main meaning of this particular grammar. Okay. Now look at this. The non-terminal B and T have a synthesized attribute small t representing a type. And a non-terminal C has two attributes, an inherited attribute B and a synthesized attribute T. The inherited B attribute pass a basic type down tree and synthesized T attribute accumulate the result, means child to parent. See here, according to the semantic rule, just analyze the semantic rule. According to this semantic rule, the synthesized attribute is from child to parent, and here inherited attribute first time it is from left to right, and after that, okay, it is from parent to child. Okay, that is the meaning of inherited, right? Parent to child. Okay, let me explain. Now let us consider the example integer 2 of 3. 2 of 3 means how many rows? 2 rows, and how many columns? 3 columns. And what is the type here? Integer. I mean two-dimensional array. Okay, in C language we want to represent two-dimensional array. Therefore, let us construct the syntax tree, the left one. What is the start symbol? T. T is replaced with B, C. According to the input, what is the type? Integer. Therefore, B is replaced with value integer. Now, what is C? C is C is replaced with 2C. 2 means subscript. Again, C is replaced with 3C and final C is replaced with epsilon. Okay, so this is what the syntax tree. Now, what is the corresponding action? First one, integer, right? B, what is the type of B? It is integer. Therefore, integer is copied to integer. What is the type now? I mean, it is synthesized attribute. Therefore, integer is copied to attribute T of non-terminal B. Therefore, BT is equal to integer. After that, this is copied to inherited attribute. Okay, what is that inherited attribute? C, B. Okay, that is copied to C, B. Sorry, it is copied to C. Yeah, it is copied to C, B. Now, after that, this is copied to down. This is copied to down. Then, like this, CB is copied to CT. Then, CT to CT. Then, CT to CT. TT. Okay, so this is what the meaning. Clear? That implies, let me explain once again. See in more detail, at the root for T derives BC. The non-terminal C inherits the type from B. Is that okay? Non-terminal C inherits the type from B using the inherited attribute C dot B. Okay. At the rightmost node for C, the production C derives epsilon. So CT equal to CB. This is what the action, right? CT equal to CB. And the semantic rule for the production, that is C derives num of C1, subscript num of C1, form CT, that is CT, by applying the operator array to the operands num dot value and C1 dot T. Okay, so try to understand the grammar as well as the production rule. So it will be clear for you. First you construct the syntax tree and then you construct syntax directed translation for array types. Thank you.